All right.
So now you can see that the material has melted to quite a belly, and it is now ready to be processed. So we're going to move the element away, turn on the fan, put your wet paper towel, and just gently help the material to adhere to your model, especially the palette area and the anterior and posterior area.
While she's vacuumed it to the model, she also pressed down around the vestibule and palette to ensure that it was adhered to those areas.
So now we want to gently take this off, unlock it, lift the frame, and then just gently peel this off the table. Okay, and there we go. So now I want to cut this out. So what you can do, because you can't really see, you want to just take your pen and you want to just draw some lines for you to cut it out with the hot knife. And we do go all the way to the posterior.
You want it to go behind the distal, the very last tooth. You want it to cover some of the palate, okay, so that it's not just trimmed right behind the anterior teeth of the maxilla. And then you also want it to go down into the vestibule area, why it's important for your impression to capture that area.
And you want to capture the frenums, especially in the anterior and by the premolars and molars. Okay, so once you've drawn your little lines to help you cut it out, then you'll have to have a seat when you're using the hot knife.
Do you want scissors, or are you going to do it all like that?
No. So just gently with the hot knife, go over your lines that you did with the pen, keeping the model on the table. You want to be able to, you don't want the knife to slip out of your hand suddenly if you were to hold it up in the air.
So Sylvie's very quick at this because she's made many of them. You may notice that you're going a tad slower as you get used to using the hot knife, knowing that it's very hot, so you want to make sure you don't burn yourself.
All right, so it's always good to have your wet paper towel handy because you will have to wipe it off your blade so that it's not smoking constantly.
What temperature roughly do you have that hot knife at?
The hot knife, I usually try and keep it high because if it's not high enough, you're not cutting through the material.
Entire thickness. Is she at 8
So
or
is
10?
that
Between
like
8 and 10?
8 and 10?
8 to 10.
Okay.
Yep. So I just want to be able to take the material off.
She's almost like scoring it in 4 different sections so then she can peel the excess away.
Easier.
Because you don't want your model to break.
Yeah.
You could do it with scissors or you can do it with the hot knife.
Okay, let's see if we can just peel some of this off now. Okay, so now you want this mouth guard to feel nice and smooth once it's placed inside the mouth. And one of the ways that we can accomplish that is by taking our hand torch, and you can leave it on the model first and use the hand torch. Just gently go over the outline where you were cutting it, and this will take out some of the little nicks that are rough.
So you have to remember what feels rough to our finger when we're kind of feeling the edges is going to feel even more rough once it's in the oral cavity for the patient. So it's got to be a smooth edge when you're completed.
And then once you've done that, you can also remove it from the model after running it under some cold water. The cold water helps it to set up so you're not stretching it out of form. And then you can remove it. Then if you wanted to, you could also use the hand torch to do the lingual areas.